What is up, guys? Keith Jamison, aka Gator Guy 231 across the DFS industry, here with your FSI Champions League soccer preview for Tuesday, March 10th. 4-game slate, and man, this is going to be a fantastic few days of soccer, and then we get another week of it next week. But we have the second legs of the round of 16 games, and if you have never played Champions League before, understanding where the games and what the teams need is going to be massive to your success today. So we're going to go through that, go through the odds and some of the top plays. So let's jump right in. Again, if you want more content, make sure you check us out, fsidfs.com. You can get some packages for as low as $3 a day with all of my core plays after lineups drop, and full chat, as well as access to every soccer slate we cover. So make sure to check it out, and let's jump into the picks. So 4 games today, over the next 2 days. So we have Atalanta at Valencia. Atalanta is a slight favorite, which personally I think is a mistake, but they're at 124, Valencia 177. That game was actually really, really square, the first leg in Italy, but Valencia didn't take their chances, Atalanta did. If you look at the XGs, it was a lot closer than the scoreline indicated, but Valencia is down 4-1, so we'll be pushing really, really strongly. The other game today is Spurs at Leipzig. That is the biggest favorite on the slate. Leipzig is minus 196, Spurs 468. Spurs are down 1-0, so they will be. I think Jose will start the game out very conservatively, per his style, just to try not to let it get away, whereas Leipzig is going to come out and really try to get that second goal early. So I think that's idea of where it will go, and if it's still the second half and it's 1-0, then Jose will release the reins to try to get that equalizer, push it to extra time. Tomorrow we have Dortmund at PSG. Dortmund is up. I'm going to say it's 2-1. Let me just double check. Yeah, we have Dortmund up 2-1, with Haaland having the brace last game. But we're in PSG. Now, here's the very interesting thing in Paris is there's not going to be any crowd there, so that does minimize the home field advantage a bit. The PSG Ultras, for as many people as talking about all the corporate money, the Ultras in Paris are still pretty insane. So that's going to be a really weird atmosphere. That said, we have PSG as a solid minus 138 favorite. Dortmund close to plus 300, and it's the highest total of the slate at 3.5. Final game is Atletico at Liverpool. Atletico up 1-0. Anfield nights are something to experience, and yes, I'm a Liverpool fan, so I'm biased, but there's nothing like a night game at Anfield. So that will be one of the most electric atmospheres going. Even though Liverpool is going to win the league, I think if they get bow out in the Champions League in the round of 16, there are going to be some people that call the season a bit of a disappointment. So I really expect Liverpool to go full metal, full out, attacking football. We're going to have a couple of the Liverpool pieces, which we'll talk to soon. But again, minus 181, Atletico 507, 2.5 total, which I think is mostly because we don't really expect Atletico to score, more so than we don't expect Liverpool to. So let's go through the picks. So for your first lock, Neymar at 12.6. Yes, this is an expensive tag, but he is my top overall play of the slate. He's taking half the sets for PSG, who absolutely need a win for this whole project and all the money to be spent to not just be a complete failure. They have to progress in the Champions League this year. Dortmund is a leaky defense, to say the least, especially away from home. I just think Neymar is going to wreak havoc. I think there's enough for 15 floor points. With a goal or an assist, we're talking 25, 30 points. So second forward, I think Neymar is going to be very, very popular, but second forward is really going to be where the slate comes down to. So Angel Di Maria is going to be another popular option. He split sets with Neymar in, has a pretty high floor in the league play, still is a high volume shooter and crosser. So I think he will be pretty popular at 9K. Personally, for me, I'm between him and a Liverpool piece. So with Liverpool full out attacking, I expect the likes of Salah and Mane to be very involved in shooting, and for that combo to at least score 1 goal, possibly 2, maybe each of them score. But I think they're actually fairly priced at 8,600 and 8,400. Now, neither of them have a great floor because they don't really cross, and neither one actually draws a ton of fouls. But Salah is the more aggressive shooter of the two, so he will probably be my choice over Mane. But, if Mane shows up with 2 goals, don't be shocked. So I'm going to have combos of both. But I think more than likely for cash, I'm going to be on a second Liverpool forward. Now, if you drop down and you just go, look, there's a couple midfielders I want to play, and I don't have the salary for second forward, there are some other good cash options. So I think the Dortmund guys are very fairly priced. So Brandt and Hazard, when both are on the pitch, they kind of split sets, but if either one of them is on the pitch without the other, they take a majority of those sets. So Hazard at 5,200 started last leg is a really, really nice price, and can kind of give you a lot of flexibilities in your builds. Brandt, I think, is the better has the better open play floor of the two, and at 5,800 is another solid deal as well. The other option I do want to mention for that is a cash viable is Patrick Schick for Leipzig. So he had 9 DK without a goal or assist, missed at least 2 really, really golden opportunities for Spurs. I'm assuming he starts, and we will know he's in the first game of the day. Sub 5K for a striker on a solid favorite who does like to shoot is a really nice value. Now, there's a ton of other forwards on this slate. I think that they're fringe cash or potentially just don't fit builds that well. Mbappe, I would love if they would have had him at 9,500. I don't think there would have been a way I could have steered away from him in cash. But at 11K, if you already have locked in Neymar, the rest of your build gets really, really dicey. So I think that's more of a GPP. Feel free to maybe stack that up. And if you actually look down, the second striker for PSG is really cheap too. So either Cavani or Icardi are 7,000, 6,700 each, which is a very nice price for them. So maybe combining all 3 in a stack could be a great GPP play. Ilicic, if Atalanta was down 4-1, he would be a lock. But at up 4-1, I do question just how open they will be. They absolutely love to score, and they play some of the most open football in all of Europe. But up 4-1, I have to imagine there's some pragmatism that gets put in today. So at 9,400, I'm really not that interested. Timo Werner, 8,900, had over 20 DK, including the PK last leg. Have no problem with him considering how terrible Tottenham's defense has looked. Again, I think Leipzig will try to take it to them early, which should mean multiple shots for Werner in the first half. Haaland, 8,700. He's not really even in my player pool, but maybe that will be something that I will regret based on his talent alone. Firmino is somebody I rarely ever target at no matter the price, but he's just so much more into link-up play than stuff that gets us for DFS. But I just guaranteed his goal, so it's cool. Zapata, not really, but if GPP, sure. I do think Valencia is with a strong look. If you actually look at the XG, they don't have it up, but I want to say that they should have scored, according to XG, 3+ goals versus Atalanta in the first leg. So to just dismiss them here would be a mistake. Let's see where Moreno is. Yeah, especially at 6,700. Moreno, I think Maxi Gomez is out. So you might see either Gamero or Guedes starting up top with him. All very cheap. Solid goal scoring odds against a leaky team. So I do like that. If I see them in cash, I won't look at that person and go, what the hell are they doing? I think that's very much in play. So that wraps it up for the forward pool. We're going to go over to midfield now. Paco Gomez at 9,300, I'm sure is going to be very popular. Much like Ilicic, I'm not nearly that interested because of the game script. With Paco, you really are looking at crosses, and you want the 12 to 14 cross game. I just don't see it. And at 9,300, that really inhibits your builds. So a lot of the guys at the top are midfield forwards that we've already discussed. The next midfielder I do want to discuss is Danny Parejo. Takes a monopoly of sets for Valencia, who need to score multiple times and quickly, down 4-1. So I love him on the 1-game slate. He's definitely going to be in my cash lineup for that. The 2-gamer, if I can afford it, it just really is going to depend on that second forward. But if I can afford it, I love him. I think he gives you a double-digit floor. He takes PKs, does shoot, so you have solid upside in the 20s. So I think he's really one of the stronger midfielders on the entire slate. His teammate Ferland Torres, 6,200, I expect to be back in. A guy that loves to cross the ball and attack, which just suits really well to this game script. So 6,200, while I don't think he's going to draw a lot of ownership, I think is very cash viable. Christopher Nkunku, he takes almost all the sets for Leipzig when he's on. There is some of a split with Angelino, but we did see him take more than Angelino in the first leg. Solid player, just a lot of his floor comes from those corners, and he does often sub out early. So just know that in advance, but 6,100 is a very fair tag. From there, I do think, even though they are not going to be one of the bigger dogs, I think Koke is in play for Atletico. With Koke, not only do you get sets, but a lot of what he does is defensive. He's a very involved in tackling, does get some fouls drawn. So at 4,900, I do think that there is some floor there. Maybe like 68 DK, which for a lot of what's around this range is just fine. Now, just below him, though, is one of my locks of the slate, which is Giovanni Lo Celso. Lo Celso has been Spurs' best player in 2020 since Kane and Son went down. He takes pretty much every single corner for Spurs, who are down 1-0, so we'll be pushing at least in the second half, even if I do think that they might kind of sit back in the first half. But he draws fouls, he tackles, he shoots. I think this past weekend, he would have been over 7,000, and at 4,700, it's just a crazy price. So he should be the slate's highest owned player. If he's not, then that's a music to the ears of all of us listening to this pod or watching this video or in the FSI Discord, because we will be all over him. Dennis, I'm going to butcher it, but Cheryshev, if he is in and playing over on the left, I love his game. Just a very, very active shooter, active crosser. 4,400 is a really solid price. Below him, the only other guy, Partey at 3,700 for the defensive and a random set for Atletico is in play. Ndombele, I don't see any way that he starts after Jose ripped him over the weekend. The only other guy I saw down here of much interest to me is Soler for Valencia. Just a nice player. He's been playing more centrally, which does lower his floor a bit, but if we do see him out wide, I'm at 3,300 for the team that above all is going to be pushing today. I think he is a nice fair cash play at punt type of price. We'll go to the defender and our final lock for the pod, Trent Alexander-Arnold. If he gets 20 crosses tomorrow, I will not be surprised in the least. Takes most of Liverpool sets, although Robertson has been splitting with him of late. But he is likely the most active crosser, I would say close to it, in Europe. If anybody else can think of somebody offhand, go for it and let me know. But he has a ton of open play. Liverpool, almost all their offense, if they don't get Salah or Mane on a counter or cutting inside, it's all about getting it out wide to the fullbacks. And if you watched leg one, once Atletico got up, Simeone just packed the middle of the pitch and just didn't want to let Liverpool get through the middle. So everything went out to the wings. And that just leads to a ton of crosses from Alexander, Arnold, and Robertson. Angelino should be pretty popular at 6K, taking half the sets for Leipzig, who do play wingbacks. He's another guy that has never seen a cross he doesn't like. So I think he has a solid double-digit floor as well. Do love Andy Robertson. He should be match fit from everything I've seen. If he wasn't going to be in, Milner would start in his place, but I would be shocked if he's not in. Again, with Atletico probably packing the middle of the pitch, I think Robertson has a great floor in this matchup as well. Hakimi, too expensive. There's no way I wouldn't find $200 more for Robertsons. Gossens, again, a little expensive considering the game script. Trippier should be match fit. I just don't see paying $5,100 for a team that's going to be bunkering the whole game. So I do think the next players where I look at are the Valencia fullbacks. So it should be Was and Gaia. With Valencia having to push so badly, I do think that they're going to be pretty offensive. Serge Aurier sticks out at $4,400 for the price. Again, with Tottenham having to open up a bit, he is a very, very willing crosser and has better offensive ability than defensive ability. So $4,400 for a guy in EPL that we pay $5,200 to $5,500 for is really nice. So going down, I think it's worth pointing out Marquinhos may be playing more of a midfield role from PSG tomorrow. Verratti is suspended, so I think that more than likely we see Marquinhos go back up in that position next to Idrissa Gueye versus them pulling in Leandro Paredes, who's been pretty awful for them since they signed him. Today we may see, depending on formation, but Ben Davies may be back into the side at $3,100, especially if Spurs kind of open themselves up a bit and play three in the back with Aurier and Davies as wingbacks. $3,100 for a guy that is a capable crosser. I don't know if I want to go as far as saying aggressive, but with Spurs needing to push the game, $3,100, I think that's a standout value. And finally, I don't think he'll be in, but Santiago Arias is worth noting at $2,900. If starting, but I would be concerned if I'm down here come tomorrow that he's not in the lineup. Goalie, do whatever, guys. I really, what I don't think I would do is play Adrian. Not only has he just looked insanely shaky between the sticks, but I just don't see Atletico doing a lot of shooting. I don't think they'll have much of the ball. So the worst thing that you can do is pay up for a keeper with no upside to get saves, in my opinion. I think I would much rather play the Leipzig keeper. I'm not even going to attempt this name. Yes, I am. Galaxy. But anyhow, Spurs will still shoot. I question the finishing quality for Spurs these days. So to get some upside on saves and a team that might struggle with finishing, that would probably be my favorite spend up. I do think it's very much in play to play the likes of Berkey or Jan Oblak. I think both of them are going to be very busy, and if either one of them has an outlier game or is just stopping a ton of shots, that's where you can get these 14 to 16 goalie upside games, even when they concede. So those would probably be the goalies that I think I land on. I hope you guys enjoyed this preview pod. If you are interested in more content or more help, check us out, fsidfs.com. I have today's cheat sheet posted there with odds, totals, set takers, and you can also subscribe to get full access to all the soccer that we cover and any other sports. Just check us out. Once again, fsidfs.com. Thank you all for listening and watching. Good luck today. Take care.